Do you ever wonder where Pokemon come from? And no, I'm not talking about the daycare. I'm talking about where the creators of Pokemon got their ideas. Well, I've been looking into it, and here are 7 that I find very interesting. Let's start the list off with Elgyem and Beheeyem. These two Gen 5 Pokemon are based on the Greys, aliens very popular in ufology and alien sightings. The Greys became popular through the Roswell incident and the Betty and Barney Hill abduction in 1961, and pretty much every alien sighting since then. Elgyem's name comes from the corruption of the letters LGM, standing for Little Green Men. Beheeyem's name is similar, coming from BEM, Bug-Eyed Monsters. Though those are much older, something you'd find in an old 50s dime store novel or movie. If you don't believe that, look at its French name, Nitram, Martian spelled backwards. An interesting note is that Beheeyem looks like it's wearing a trench coat, possibly a reference to the shady individuals that often associated with alien sightings and cover-ups. Personally, I think it looks like it's going out on the town in 1900s England. Number 6 is Hoopa, a new event Pokemon discovered early with the tampering of X and Y ROMs. It has 2 forms, Confined and Unbound. The Confined form is based on Jinn, or a genie, a creature from Arabian mythology. Jinns live in the Jinnistan, a mythical place separate from our own world. They were created by Allah from smokeless fire. And of course, you know what genies are. Just imagine Robin Williams in Aladdin. Hoopa's unbound form looks more like the Hindu deity Shakti, a divine force meant to restore balance. Shakti is the source of everything, energy and power, something like Mother Nature. Number 5 is Absol. This 3rd generation Pokemon is based on a Baize, a white animal of some kind. The name Baize means white marsh. It's an intelligent creature and can tell of all 11,520 supernatural species that exist and how to overcome them. Absol may also be based after Death, with a sickle horn on its head. Also, its head looks like a yin-yang symbol, which is interesting. Its Ruby Pokedex mentions how it is followed by disasters, which makes sense on the death idea. Even its name sounds dark, Ab, meaning away from, and Sol, meaning sun. Up next is Dunsparce. Dunsparce doesn't get a lot of love, so I decided to include it on this list. It's based off a Japanese cryptid called Tsuchinoko, a snake-like creature that is spotted from time to time, even today. Its name means hammer's spawn. The creatures are said to be up to 80 centimeters in length with fangs. According to legends, they can talk and like to lie a lot. They're even said to like alcohol. Number 3 is Munna. I feel like I've added too many cryptids on the list, so I decided to throw Munna in there. It appears to be based off of Japanese incense burners known as Koro. These incense burners are sometimes shaped like pigs and have flowers painted on them, just like Munna. Munna may also be inspired by the Baku, a tapir-like creature that eats dreams. The Baku may have also inspired Hypno. Number 2 is Sableye. This one's my favorite, but I'm really into creepy creature sightings. In 1955, a family in rural Kentucky claimed that they were terrorized by creatures that stood about 3 feet tall with pointed ears and claw-like hands. When the creatures were shot at, the people claimed that they heard a noise that sounded like bullets rattling around in a metal drum. The creatures then flipped over and ran away. More continued to come out of the woods, appearing in windows and at the door. They did not seem mean-spirited and kept coming back, as if playing. The witnesses also claimed that the creatures used their hips to propel themselves in a circular motion, using their arms to steer, similar to the way Sableye looks in the game. This creature is known as the Hopkinsville Goblin, or at least it was before it got the name Sableye. Number 1 is Cobalion, Virizion, Terrakion, and Keldeo. Alright, yes, I know that's 4, but they're all connected. These Pokemon make up the Swords of Justice. They are based off the primary characters in Alexander Dumas' book, The Three Musketeers. Cobalion is Athos, the leader and oldest. Terrakion is Porthos, the biggest and strongest. Virizion represents Aramis, the vain romantic one. And then there's Keldeo, based off of the youngest and newest musketeer, D'Artagnan. Now that explains their place in Swords of Justice. Now let's look at what each takes its physical appearance from. Cobalion looks like a combination of a goat and a stag. Terrakion looks like a combination of a sheep and an ox. Virizion appears to be an antelope or a gazelle of some kind. And finally Keldeo, who is something of a more legendary appearance. It's probably based on the Kelpie, a water horse that can take human form. Or maybe it's just a unicorn, who knows. And that is 7 of the more interesting Pokemon origins. Stay tuned for more videos.